When Mr. Scott got sick, his insurance paid him about 350,000 US dollars. And when you got sick, your GoFundMe paid you 1,132. I don't want to miss any figure because I want to give the exact amount. 1,132 US dollars. Hello guys, welcome to my channel. This is your favorite financial professional, Claudette Dona, aka Clo. You're welcome to yet another series of Operation No Family Left Behind. Operation No Family Left Behind. If you've not watched my previous videos, go back, watch them, and understand why I said we are in a series of Operation No Family Left Behind. So today, I'm going to be educating us on one thing. It's something that is so common in our society. It's something that the society believes so much in it. Some even depend so much on it. I'm going to talk about it. It's a good thing, but you don't have to depend on it. I'm going to bring you an alternative, how you can get yourself prepared even for the worst situation in life. This is something that majority of people, they don't know about. That is why we are out to educate people. So what do we do in this community? We educate you on income creation. We educate you on income preservation. And we educate you on income replacement. And so many, not just these three. So we educate you on how you can create your wealth. You can grow your wealth. You can replace your wealth even when you are unable to do the regular thing that is creating wealth for you right now. This is what we do in our community. So today we are going to talk about that thing that is so common, that thing many people believe, some people even depend on it. We are going to talk about GoFundMe. Yeah, you heard me right. GoFundMe. Statistics shows that more than 10,000 people, more than 10,000 people start a GoFundMe account every year in the United States. You know what? You will bear with me that people don't start a GoFundMe because they want to celebrate a wedding. They don't start a GoFundMe because they want to celebrate a birthday party. They don't start a GoFundMe because they want to celebrate a graduation ceremony or all the celebratables that you know. That is never a reason why people start a GoFundMe. Rather, you know the reason why people start a GoFundMe. That is when the storm of life strikes. When somebody is critically or chronically sick, they start a GoFundMe if the person can no longer afford maybe even feeding or hospital bills. They start a GoFundMe when somebody gets involved in an accident and can no longer walk. They start a GoFundMe because somebody dies. You know the many reasons why people start a GoFundMe. It is always at the part 2 part of life or the part B part of life. That is when they open a GoFundMe. Yeah. But today, you're going to learn why GoFundMe is good. But I tell you, you need an Index Universal Life account because this is the best gift you can give yourself. You will bear with me that when the storm of life strikes, it's not the storm of life is never a matter of if, but it is a matter of when. You know, when it is if, it is conditional. If I buy a car, if I buy a house, if I celebrate my wedding, if I celebrate my graduation ceremony, if I celebrate my birthday, those are things that you can control. So you plan for them. You don't need a GoFundMe. But what about you getting up, very strong, just feeling a pain in your brain or maybe in your stomach, you go to the to the hospital, and the doctor tell you, I'm sorry, you have end renal failure. I'm sorry, you have kidney failure. I'm sorry, you have liver failure. I'm sorry, you have heart attack. What about these circumstances? Those are matter of when. You can't control them. I don't want to be sick. You don't want to be sick. Nobody wants to get involved in an accident. Nobody ever wants to get sick. But sickness never chooses who to come to. Accident, no. Death, no. That is why I am telling you today, prepare yourself. Even at the worst moment in life, you should still have something you can look up to and you smile. Because you know this is something that will keep you going. This is something that will help you to cross that sad moment, that 0 point in life. What is this I'm talking about? Index Universal Life Account. Even if the worst have to happen to you, people should start a GoFundMe account for you to show love. People should start a GoFundMe account for you for gratitude. It shouldn't be because you desperately need it at that moment. Because trust me, GoFundMe is never enough. That is why we have this Operation No Family Left Behind, to educate our community on what income replacement. What will keep you going? What is that income that will continue coming in when you can't do the regular things you used to do and earn? You need this knowledge. When you come to understand what Index Universal Life can do to you in this life, there is no reason why you won't have an account like this. If you haven't watched my previous videos, go back and watch them. Get the knowledge. Reach out to me. Let me start your own application for an Index Universal Life account. I know some people have listened to me several times. They say they will go and do more research. They will go and think. Do you know that as you go back to think, you're not even sure whether the company will accept your application? They're equally thinking if you're worthy. They're thinking if you will qualify. Not everybody gets qualified. That is why if you hear something like this, take action immediately. Especially when you don't have that hospital record that has already disqualified you before we even put in the application. Come to me, let's start right away. All right, that was it. I was just giving a little bit of advice. Let's continue for talk today. So I said every year, people start a GoFundMe account. I've shown you circumstances in which people start a GoFundMe account. And the one you need your Index Universal Life to sustain you. Knowledge is power. If you get knowledge and you apply the knowledge, it will never fail you. Let me give you an example of somebody who was very wealthy. You know many people around you, but I'm just going to give you an example of a public figure. Back then, 2 years ago, one of the co-founders of Cash App, Bob Lee. You know, this is somebody who was worth more than 10 million US dollars. But do you know when he passed, his children could not even afford breakfast. The brother had to start a GoFundMe. You might think that I'm talking to you, oh, you can never be in that situation because you have so much money in your bank account. This is somebody who was worth $1 million US dollars, more than 10 million US dollars. But when he passed away, there is something in US and Canada called the probate court system. This is what has sent people back to point zero, families back to point zero, the probate court system. It is a system of court in America in which once you drop dead in America, most of your income accounts get frozen. That is, your checking, your savings, your bonds, and so many others account that generate or create income for you or preserve your income. These are the accounts that get frozen. But we have two accounts that are left standing. They are never touched by the probate court. So it means that whatever is found in that account, you can always use it without going through probate. Probate usually take maybe 2 years or more to unfreeze those accounts. But within that 2 years, what happened? So when Bob Lee passed away, all his accounts were frozen. Even up to today, as I'm talking to you, we are in 2025. Those accounts have never been opened. They have not yet opened. He did not have this knowledge, or maybe he had the knowledge, but he did not put it into practice to create an Index Universal Life account. He thought he was still very young. He was not going to die. Maybe he still had enough time to live. So when he died, even the kids he left behind, they could not afford breakfast. The brother had to start a GoFundMe for him. Like I said, GoFundMe is never enough. Come with me. Let me bring us to our community and show you a practical example of what GoFundMe can do to you and what an Index Universal Life account can do to you. After listening to me today, you will choose which one you will solely depend on. Come with me. Let me demonstrate to you. I like to demonstrate because we have so many Thomas in our community. They want to see before they believe. Come, I'm here to show you everything you need to know. See before you believe. I'll show it to you. So I'm going to show you an example of someone who benefited from Index Universal Life account in situation of chronic illness, and someone who benefited from a GoFundMe account in situation of chronic illness. From there, you will choose which account you want to speak for you when you find yourself in that circumstance. Remember, you are not wishing to be chronically or critically sick. Nobody ever wished that. But, you know, one of the things that gives you peace of mind is when you yourself, you know, you are fully prepared, even for that worst moment in life. You are fully prepared. If the storm of life strikes now, you can remain standing. It's not going to carry you along. That is what gives you peace of mind. And is this peace of mind I'm telling you today? Take this action. Open an Index Universal Life account. Save your money. It's not only, you don't only use it when you are sick. Go back to my videos. Watch the benefits of having an Index Universal Life account. The living benefits. It comes even with a death benefit. All right, let me go show you so that you can be informed, so you can make informed choices. If you look at my screen, you will see why your family needs protection. This is a story of Mr. Scott. You know, everything is open because he gave the permission for us to share his story, because he is a product of Index Universal Life account. He has benefited from Index Universal Life account, and he wants to use his situation to educate families on having a protection plan. So Mr. Scott used to do his regular job, go to work, come back, never been diagnosed of any health condition. When he listened to somebody spoke one time in life, the way I'm talking to you, he decided to take that engagement to protect himself. After some time in life, he was diagnosed of heart attack. He was in the hospital. The only thing he did was to call his agent, one of us, who has put in a policy for him some time ago. Even though he was not earning so much money, about $50,000 per month, he decided to get himself a $500,000 policy. So when he was sick, he was diagnosed of heart attack, he could no longer go to work. What did he do? He called his insurance company, and a check of $353,519.20 US dollars was sent to him. You know, if you're on the sick bed and you just receive a message or an email saying that this check has been sent to your email, you know what will happen, right? All the antibodies in your system will rise and fight and fight that bacteria or whatever is causing you sick, all the antibodies will rise. The gather core. That is how they'll rise with their swords, their knives, their cutlasses, and their guns to destroy everything that is making you sick. At that point in time, you automatically get well. And this is what happened to him. He got well. What did he do? Use part of the money to pay off his mortgage, pay off his 2 luxurious cars, and you see him, he's enjoying his life, telling himself that he's grateful to be alive and living his dream life. Just imagine if Mr. Scott did not take out the engagement to protect himself. Maybe he would have died in that heart attack trauma, knowing that he has mortgage to pay, he's unable to walk. But even if he survives and come out of the hospital, he'll still need to pay mortgage, needs to pay car loan. Just that trauma alone attached to heart attack is enough to take away his life. This is the story of Mr. Scott. Now, let's go demonstrate to you a story of somebody who benefited from GoFundMe because the person equally fell sick. Like I said, I'm taking out time so you can be informed, so you can make informed choices. Come with me. So if you look at my screen, the consequences of lack of financial education, or the consequences of getting a financial education but not taking the right action or not taking action on time. Delayance. This is a GoFundMe. So I'm going to share with you a story of a nurse practitioner. This is from one of our colleagues' experience. It was a colleague of hers, a nurse practitioner from Nigeria, whom the colleague has spoke to her several times about protecting herself, getting herself covered. She gave all sort of flimsy excuses you can know in the universe. I'm working, I'm paying for mortgage, I'm building a house back there in Africa, I'm sponsoring my elder brother or my junior brother to school. One of the most prestigious university in Nigeria is really taking me a lot of money. I'm taking care of my mom. I'm the only breadwinner of the family. So my cup is really full now. I can't really do that. But when my brother graduates from the university, and when I complete my house in Africa, I will consider doing something like this. We don't force people. We educate you, and at the end, the choice is yours. My colleagues do not have any other thing to say. All right, I'll be waiting for you. Like I usually say, we will wait for you, but please don't just come back when it's too late. So she rejected the offer at that time. She never put in an application to even see whether she was qualified or not. She just rejected the offer. 6 months later, one fateful day, she reached out to this colleague and said she's ready. She wants to get the policy. The colleague was, wow, that's good. You finally come back. Hope you've completed your house. She said, no, I don't need to complete that house again. Let it wait. I think this policy is very important for me right now. My kid's brother, I'm going to manage. I need to change his school. The school is very expensive, but I need a policy. Do you know the policy she was going in for? A $3 million US policy. The colleague was good. Our colleague was very happy. Wow. You finally understood that this is a game changer here in America. Pack, submit application. 3 days later, application declined. Why? Renal failure. Means this colleague has been sick. She went to the hospital and they told her she has renal failure. She was coming back to put in an application so that when it becomes very chronic or even terminal, she will have something to rely on. Insurance companies are not stupid. If you reject insurance coverage now because you feel like you're still young and healthy, know that you're going to be rejected when you're old and sick. They won't take you in. Look at the amount she was going in for. That is something she could do because she is a nurse practitioner. She was earning maybe about 250,000 US dollars annually. She could just take out maybe 15,000 US dollars from that money and save it towards her income protection, preservation, and replacement plan. This money would have been working for her. Her situation got worse. She was unable to go to work, spend all the money she has saved, and there was no way. What happened? At the job site, as we always support our own, they opened a GoFundMe account. If you look at my screen, look at what her colleague RN NPs they contributed. LPN $20, 20, 21, 25, 30, 50. Somebody contributed 392, 382. I think 392 was the highest, coming from a group of nurse practitioners. Know that here in the United States or Canada, anybody has his or her own problem. Everybody has bills to pay. Everybody plans for their money. So don't blame them if this is what they could afford at that moment. Maybe really this is what they can afford. So at the end, how much were they able to contribute? 1,132 US dollars. This money cannot even pay half of her mortgage in a month. Like I said, if they are bringing you this money, it shouldn't be because you desperately need this money. It should be their act of love and kindness. But at this point in time, this sister desperately needed the money. You were earning 250,000 US dollars annually, and Mr. Scott was earning 50,000 US dollars annually. When Mr. Scott got sick, his insurance paid him about 350,000 US dollars. And when you got sick, your GoFundMe paid you 1,132. I don't want to miss any figure because I want to give the exact amount. 1,132 US dollars. My dears, this shouldn't be your story. Your story should be that of Mr. Scott. Do you know the 1,001 things that will be running through our nurse practitioner's mind now? Do you know the 1,001 regrets that will be running through her mind? Just that can make her to be depressed and finally die. We learn from other people's stories. We learn from other people's mistakes. So, like I said, make informed choices. Contact me. Let's put in your application. It costs nothing. You don't need to pay anything for the application. See if you're even worthy of getting the policy, because some people are already disqualified before they put in an application. This is a golden opportunity that you need to grab. Go back to my videos. Watch how you can cash out money, how you can grow your money in this portfolio. Watch how you can use this money, you can use this portfolio and make your child $1 million US. You can make your child $1 million baby. So that is why I say this is Operation No Family Left Behind. Say no, I won't depend on GoFundMe at the darkest point in life. I will depend on my Index Universal Life account, which will pay me money that I can use to see myself throughout that circumstances, that situation, and even live my dream life afterward. It's not only if you're critically sick. There's even a death benefit. What you leave for your child when that untimely moment arrives. We have a story of a sister. Many people equally start a GoFundMe in situation when somebody passed away. It can be unforeseen or it can be foreseen. If you look at my screen, this is a story too of a young lady who listened to one of my colleagues speak one point in time and decided to take the engagement to protect herself and her family. One day she was coming back from work. She got involved in an accident. She died. Her kids were still very young. Some of them were in college. And she even had a baby, I think, if I remember the story of that colleague. The child was still about 2 years old. She got involved in an accident and she died. But before she died, she has done the needful. So you see what Transamerica did to the family. They sent a check of 1,618,733.43 US dollars. 1,600,000 and something US dollars to the family. She didn't die because she had a coverage. She died because it was her time. It was an unfortunate situation for her. But did something good came out of something bad? Of course. Because the money was sent to the beneficiary, the husband was able to continue training their children in school, take care of the kids while mommy is away. The kids will cry, "Oh, mommy, we're gonna miss you." But mommy did the needful for them. Even in her absence, they're still gonna have what they need. The motherly love will not be there, but they have a comfort. They'll be able to go to school, complete college, and even have money left to start up. So that is why we tell people, even if the worst comes to the worst that you need to pass away in America or Canada, don't waste your death. Even death is not supposed to be wasted in this country because the system has been put in play. Even at that sad moment, when the whole world seems like it's crumbled, your departure should bring breakthrough. Something good should come out of something bad because the system has been put in play. Contact me today, contact me tomorrow, contact me anytime you're free. Let's put in your application. One never knows. A waiting game is a losing game. Make hay while the sun shines. Stop procrastinating. Stop researching, because as you're wasting your time on research, you don't even know if something can happen and you get disqualified. Contact me. Get yourself a protection plan. Get yourself an income replacement plan. Get yourself a wealth creation plan. And that is what I offer you with Index Universal Life account.